Intro. Rejection. The very word makes most of us shrink. It feels personal, like a stamp on our worth, a sign that we don't belong, or worse, that we'll never be enough. Maybe it was the job you thought you were perfect for but never heard back from. Maybe it was a relationship where the other person decided to walk away. Or maybe it was simply a friend who didn't show up when you needed them most. In those moments, it feels like the world is pointing a finger and saying, "You are not wanted." And for many, that pain lingers for years. But here's the truth the Stoics discovered long ago. Rejection isn't the end of your story. It can be the very beginning of a stronger, freer, and more unshakable version of you. The Stoics, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus, faced rejection not as a curse, but as a teacher. They saw it as an invitation to examine the self, to separate what truly matters from what doesn't, and to build an inner fortress that no opinion, no failure, no rejection could ever tear down. Think about it. When someone says no to you, they are not rewriting your destiny. They are revealing theirs. What remains in your hands is how you respond, how you grow, and what kind of person you become through the experience. That's where power is born, not from avoiding rejection, but from transforming it. And in this video, we'll walk through 4 timeless Stoic lessons that can help you do exactly that. See rejection as a mirror. Separate what you control. Transform pain into strength. Redefine success beyond approval. Before we begin, if you find meaning in exploring ancient wisdom and applying Stoic philosophy to modern life, make sure you subscribe to Legacy of Thinkers. This channel is dedicated to helping you not only think deeper but also live stronger every single day. So, let's step into the wisdom of the Stoics. Rejection may feel like a closed door, but together, we're about to discover that it can also be the key to your greatest freedom. 1. See rejection as a mirror. Rejection hurts because it feels like someone is holding up a mirror, and we don't like what we see. But the Stoics invite us to look closer. Not every reflection is an insult. Sometimes it's simply a revelation. Seneca once wrote that it is not things themselves that disturb us, but our opinions about them. When you're rejected, it's easy to conclude, "I'm not good enough." But that's just an interpretation, not a fact. What rejection actually gives you is a mirror. It shows you where you stand, what you might refine, and how others perceive the value you bring. Think of an artist submitting work to a gallery. If the gallery says no, the rejection doesn't declare the artist talentless. It simply reflects what that gallery is ready, or not ready, to see. Another gallery might welcome the same painting with open arms. The mirror changes depending on who is holding it. The Stoic approach is to use rejection as feedback rather than judgment. Instead of asking, "Why am I not enough?" ask, "What does this moment reveal about me and about them?" Maybe it reveals that your skills need sharpening. Or maybe it reveals that the person, company, or community wasn't aligned with your values to begin with. Either way, the mirror gives you clarity, not condemnation. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, "If it is endurable, then endure it. If it is not, then stop complaining." Rejection is endurable. What it offers, if we dare to look, is an unfiltered reflection of our place in the world right now. That reflection may sting, but it also points the way forward. So when rejection comes, don't turn away from the mirror. Face it, study it, let it reveal both your rough edges and your hidden strengths. Because the Stoics knew, the mirror of rejection isn't there to shame you. It's there to help you see yourself more clearly than ever before. 2. Separate what you control. One of the most liberating truths the Stoics taught is this: much of life is not up to us. Epictetus opened his Enchiridion with the reminder that some things are within our control, and some things are not. The moment we confuse the two, we suffer needlessly. Think about rejection. You cannot control another person's opinion, their choices, or their timing. You cannot control whether a company calls you back, whether a partner stays, or whether a friend supports you. These are beyond your hands. Yet, we often tie our happiness to those uncontrollable outcomes. And when they fall apart, we fall apart with them. The Stoics invite us to shift our focus. What is in your control? Your effort, your attitude, your interpretation. If you applied for the job, prepared your best, and showed up fully, that was within your power. The hiring manager's decision? That's theirs. If you entered a relationship with honesty and love, that was within your power. How the other person feels tomorrow, that's theirs. This separation doesn't make rejection painless, but it does make it clear. Instead of drowning in questions like, why don't they want me? You begin to ask, did I act with integrity? Did I give what I could? And if the answer is yes, then your part is done. Marcus Aurelius wrote, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. That's the Stoic shield against rejection. You can't stop the no from coming, but you can stop it from breaking you. So the next time rejection arrives, pause, ask yourself, what part of this belongs to me, and what part belongs to them? And then release what was never yours to hold. That is where freedom begins. 3. Transform pain into strength. Pain is inevitable, but the Stoics believed suffering is optional. When rejection stings, our first instinct is often to retreat, to label ourselves as broken or unworthy. But Marcus Aurelius left us with a radical reminder. The obstacle is the way. The very thing that feels like it is blocking us can, in truth, become the path forward. Rejection is one of those obstacles. Instead of treating it as a dead end, the Stoic mind reframes it as resistance training for the soul. Just as a muscle grows only when it is torn and rebuilt, your character grows when it is tested and reshaped by pain. Without friction, there is no strength. Without resistance, there is no resilience. History offers countless examples. J.K. Rowling's manuscript for Harry Potter was rejected a dozen times before it found a publisher. Walt Disney was once told he lacked imagination. Even Steve Jobs was fired from the very company he helped create. Each rejection burned, but each also became the forge that produced greater strength, clarity, and vision. The Stoics would tell us, don't curse the wound. Study it. Ask what it is trying to forge in you. A failed job can build persistence. A broken relationship can build compassion. A door slammed in your face can build determination. Pain doesn't have to shrink you, it can stretch you. When rejection pierces your pride, let it expand your humility. When it bruises your heart, let it deepen your capacity to love. When it delays your progress, let it sharpen your patience. That is the Stoic alchemy, turning the raw metal of pain into the steel of strength. Rejection will never stop hurting entirely, but it doesn't need to, because every no is also an invitation to grow tougher, wiser, and freer than before. 4. Redefine success beyond approval. So much of our pain from rejection comes from a single hidden belief, that success means being accepted. We crave the applause, the yes, the nod of approval. But the Stoics remind us that tying our worth to other people's approval is like building a house on shifting sand. It will never stand firm. Epictetus taught that if you want to be invincible, you must place your happiness in things no one can take away. Approval is fragile. It depends on moods, biases, and circumstances you cannot control. One day you are celebrated, the next you are forgotten. But virtue, living in alignment with your principles, remains unshaken. Think about Socrates. He chose truth over popularity, integrity over safety. The world rejected him, even condemned him to death. Yet he died free, because his definition of success was not rooted in applause but in living rightly. That is a standard no rejection can touch. Redefining success means asking, am I living by my values? Am I acting with courage, justice, wisdom, and self-control? If the answer is yes, then you have succeeded, even if the world says otherwise. Consider the artist who creates not for the critics, but because the act of creating is itself a victory. Or the parent who raises children with love, not for society's applause, but because love itself is the right path. Success redefined this way is untouchable, because it does not depend on anyone else's permission. The Stoics would remind us, rejection loses its sting the moment we stop measuring our worth by the opinions of others. You are not here to win universal approval. You are here to live a life worthy of your own respect. And that, ultimately, is the only success that matters. Outro. Rejection is never easy. It stings, it humbles, and it leaves marks. But through the lens of Stoic wisdom, it becomes more than just pain. It becomes a teacher. We've seen how rejection can act as a mirror, revealing truths about ourselves. We've learned that freedom begins when we separate what we control from what we don't. We've discovered that pain itself can be transformed into resilience. And we've redefined success as something deeper than approval. These are not abstract ideas, they are tools. Tools you can carry into your career, your relationships, and the quiet battles you face within yourself. The Stoics remind us, life doesn't always give us what we want, but it always gives us a chance to grow. And rejection, painful as it feels, may be the very soil where your strength takes root. So here's my challenge to you. Think back to the last time you were rejected. Instead of reliving the sting, ask yourself, what did it reveal? What did it teach? What strength did it secretly leave behind? That reflection might change the way you see not just the rejection, but yourself. If this message resonated with you, I want to hear your story. Share your thoughts in the comments. Tell us about the rejection that shaped you, and the strength it gave you. And if you believe in spreading this kind of wisdom, hit the like button, because it helps others find this message too. Most importantly, don't forget to subscribe to Legacy of Thinkers. This is a place where ancient wisdom meets modern life, where we take lessons from Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus, and apply them to the challenges we all face today. Every week, we release content designed to help you think deeper, live stronger, and face life with calm resilience. Rejection may close a door, but Stoicism reminds us that it can also open a better one. Thank you for watching, for reflecting, and for being part of this journey. Until next time, stay strong, stay thoughtful, and keep walking the Stoic path.